Preston looked like he'd been struck by lightning. His face drained of color, then flushed a violent, ugly red. His breath hitched in his throat, a strangled sound escaping his lips. You and I, no engagement, he stammered, his arrogance faltering for the first time. Then why? Why have you been controlling my life for 3 years? He took a step forward, aggression radiating off him in waves. If a woman so much as looked at me, you acted like a rabid dog. You chased them off. You ruined my social life. I shrugged, leaning back into the velvet sofa, the picture of unbothered elegance. Because I had to watch you for Victoria, I said, as if explaining quantum physics to a toddler. You're an investment, Preston. A liability. A liability? Lack of impulse control is a fiscal liability. You are bad for the bottom line, I lectured, channeling my sister's boardroom energy. You're engaged to the queen bee of the Zhao Empire. You represent her brand. You are expected to be chaste, loyal, and boring. If I didn't gatekeep you, you'd have tanked the merger by sleeping with an intern. Preston's jaw hit the floor. He looked down at the table, covered in evidence of my debauchery, and then back up at my face. You have the audacity to lecture me about morals? The explosion was visceral. He slammed his hand onto the table, scattering the photos. Look at this, Blair, he screamed, pointing at a grainy shot of Axel kissing my boot. These men, they barely have to undo a button and you accept them. You take them all. Every night a new partner. Every day a new scandal. He grabbed another photo of Damien, tying my hands with his signature silk tie. You're even using custom leather collars and leashes. You're treating the city's elite like pound dogs, and you dare to accuse me of being loose? I didn't flinch. I didn't even blink. So? I countered, my tone bored. And? I stood up, smoothing the skirt of my dress, meeting his gaze head-on. Life is short, Preston. We're here for a good time, not a long time. If they want to worship me for a few nights, who am I to deny them salvation? Besides, I smirked, leaning in closer, enjoying the way his pupils dilated with confusion. Why pick one flavor when the buffet is open? It's not addiction, darling. It's curiosity. I'm not bad, I quoted, batting my eyelashes. I'm just drawn that way. What's the crime? Sentenced to fly economy for a week? Banned from Eruhan? Preston just stared at me. He looked like he was having a cardiac event. He hadn't encountered this level of shamelessness in his entire Ivy League life. But then, his eyes narrowed. A cold, malicious realization sharpened his features. Does Victoria know? He asked softly. My smile faltered. Bullseye. He saw the microflinch. He saw the way my fingers tightened around the champagne flute. The engagement isn't broken yet, Preston sneered, regaining his footing. He was the gaslighter again, the controller. Technically, I am still your future brother-in-law. I am family. And family corrects behavior. He grabbed the stack of photos. Where is she? He demanded, his voice dripping with venom. I'm going to show her these. Right now. I wonder what the great Victoria Zhao will do when she sees her little sister dragging the family name through the mud. She'll cut your trust fund. She'll exile you. Panic seized my chest. Not for me, but for Victoria. She was in the middle of a hostile takeover. She didn't need this distraction. Preston, I said, my voice rising an octave. You walk in here demanding a breakup, calling yourself a victim, you have no right to see her. I have every right. You just said you wanted out. You're an outsider. I argued, desperation creeping in. You don't get to snitch. Preston didn't back down. He smiled, a shark smelling blood. Fine. I'm a heartbreaker. I'm an outsider. He held out his hand, palm up. Expectant. Then pay me back the $2 million you borrowed last month for your little yacht party. I froze. The air left the room. I blinked once. Twice. My expression shifted from villainous to good sister in record time. Preston, darling, I beamed, my voice dripping with sugar. We're practically family. Why are we talking about money? It's so gauche. I didn't have a cent of liquidity. My assets were all locked in diversified trusts, offshore accounts, and impressionist art I couldn't sell fast enough. So, I did the only thing I could do. I gave him the bypass code to Victoria's private elevator. Preston looked at the sequence of numbers like I'd handed him the launch codes to a nuke. He finally fixed his suit jacket, satisfied. But before he left, he turned back, pointing a warning finger at me. These men are trash, Blair. Don't let me catch you sleeping around again. Or I will have security escort you to Victoria's office, and I'll let her liquidate you. I lowered my lashes, forcing a slight tremor into my bottom lip. The picture of perfect submission. Oscar-worthy. Yes, Preston. I understand. The door clicked shut. The second the lock engaged, I dropped the act. I turned around, eyes locking on the figure standing by the balcony door. Axel. He had just finished walking my Doberman. Rain plastered the sheer white t-shirt to his chest, outlining every hard plane of muscle. Water dripped from his hair, pooling on the marble floor. He looked like a thunderstorm contained in human skin. Soaked, volatile, and radiating a heat that fogged the windows. I didn't even speak. I walked over, grabbed him by the collar of his wet shirt, and shoved him onto the velvet sofa. No preamble. No acting. Axel didn't expect the sudden aggression. He'd just run 5 miles with a dog that pulled like a freight train. He hadn't even had a sip of water. But when I straddled him, hands going for his belt, he didn't push me away. Clothes hit the floor. The air in the room shifted from tension to something heavier, darker. Visceral lust. Axel was known for being arrogant, a local bad boy with a temper that scared off most of high school. But right now? He was unraveling. He gasped, his arms coming up to wrap tightly around my waist, holding on for dear life. The corners of his eyes turned a beautiful, feverish red. His skin was burning, hot enough to scald. A bead of sweat rolled down his neck, tracing the sharp line of his collarbone before landing on his chest. I lowered my head and licked it off. Axel choked on a breath, his entire body shuddering. He was completely defeated. Delicious. Axel was at that perfect age. 21. The age where a boy's passion is like a wildfire in a dry field, uncontainable, consuming, and terrifyingly easy to spread.